Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Khanh Nguyen from Austin Regenerative Therapy. Today, I'm very excited and honored to have a conversation with Dr. Catanzaro from Neo7Bioscience. Why don't we start with introducing yourself and your
Okay.
background?
Well, I'm John Catanzaro, and I started Neo7Bioscience back in 2019. And but before that, I was in clinical practice for just about 25 years.
That's right.
And I graduated from my alma mater is Bastyr University. So my specialty focus was integrative oncology and functional medicine. And so I had a lot of experience with working with patients that had very resistant cancer and a lot of different types of chronic illnesses. The medical community just labeled them as failure cases. There was nothing else to offer them. They failed treatment. They were pretty much written off, and which is a terrible thing because, and we thought that, look, we can make a difference in these failure cases by, first of all, thinking outside the box. There's a lot of different things that we used to do in integrative medicine, but never really got to the real personalized core expression of the person. Right. And so that was the missing element. We had a lot of great success in having good, effective responses to integrative treatments, but with those real resistant cases that we've seen that were so difficult, it was very hard to break that, break through the veil, so to speak, right? So what we did is we was thinking outside the box. How are we going to be able to do something specialized, individualized, and precise to get to the target, right? And so, it's really amazing because really, I think that the reason why that actually all started is because before I got into medicine, I was in the aerospace industry, and I worked for several years with sophisticated aircraft systems in the Air Force and at Boeing. And I had opportunity to think of, solutions to complicated problems because that's what I was working in pretty much there. But here's the thing: is I always had that want to get into medicine, but I wanted to make a difference in medicine.
And human body is kind of the most complicated machine.
It is. It's the most complicated machine ever. And and of course, when you talk about aircraft and all these complicated systems, where the human body is more fluid, right?
Right.
But there are so many complex interactions that are happening with the human body. There's 37 trillion cells. There's 10 trillion possibilities in different amino acid buildings of proteins. There's like greater than 1,200 proteins in the body that command function to create different system health activity and responses. Right.
And a different layer of genetics and
different layer of genetics. Absolutely. So, and we know that not every disease is about genetics, right? But we do know that the inherent molecular expressions of people to adverse systems or situations in the what they're exposed to is a big deal, because the thing is that we all respond differently to our external stressors. If it's environmental stress or if it's an inherent stress, whatever it is, our bodies have a molecular expression, and our cells respond and behave in certain ways. And if they become deficient, from a systemic point of view, our systems break down. Then that's when the aging process accelerates. And
I'm just fascinated and excited when we really looking under the hood into the molecular level to really truly create a personalized solution based on what's going on in that particular individual.
Yeah.
And that is as precise as it gets. So
right. I mean, and because you do a lot of great things here with regards to helping the internal programming, right? But if you have some assistance with I call it micro editing. You're talking about an editing feature that utilizes the best of the rhythm of the body to correct its own flaws. right? So what we do at Neo7Bioscience end to end is we, we'll take the patient will give us a urine sample, a blood sample. They'll give us a tumor sample in cancer cases, and from those samples, there's molecular data, and all of the molecular data is harvested in those samples, and it's built. It's called multiplexing and engineering that data as a very complex unit. Get that big package of data, which is in gigabytes, many. It's loaded into the pipeline, the platform, and the pipeline is what we were talking about earlier, what we call the PBIMA platform, PBIMA, which is precision-based immunomolecular augmentation, right? And what it is, it's a hybrid intelligence. And what that means is we're not leaving things up to an unsupervised AI. So like, in other words, there's a lot of unsupervised AI out there right now, right? It's getting better, right? But unsupervised AI with no specific purpose is potentially dangerous. So what we've done is we've taken the human intelligence central core. So that means our scientists. We have molecular scientists discovery, molecular discovery, drug discovery, bioinformaticists, very high IT tech deep learning people. We have peptide chemists. We have all of these people that are working on our team.
And I'm so impressed with your team.
It's amazing,
all of these researchers and scientists that you mentioned. So you have multiple success stories with people running out of options. And now I come to get to know Neo7 from a different angle, because I mainly focus on how to optimize health and longevity. And so, but based on the same principle, right? But except we now target against the different hallmarks of aging.
That's right. So now the resilience part of it, or resilience, longevity, and the hallmarks of aging is the same. What we've learned from active disease and cancer, we were able to see the parallel relationships that we see in aging. So because we take a multimodal approach, and we're looking at this whole process, we get to see that there's a lot of similarities to that aging process. Like when we talk about autophagy and Sass-Burden, and we talk about mitochondrial function, and we talk about telomere remodeling and all those different things. I mean, these are all signal controls that you see in active disease expressions too. Like, for instance, the amyloid, proteins, the prion proteins, all of these different things that you're seeing in advanced neurodegenerative disease. We also see those signal characteristics similar in cancer and other diseases, right? And then when you identify them, then you can hone in on them, and you can actually design engineering specifically to those targets, and you're going to influence them. It's a very strong hub strategy. It's a hub strategy.
So then Neo7 can be used for cancer or active diseases, neurodegenerative condition,
ALS,
and then autoimmune
conditions, Lyme infections,
viral,
and spike, for instance, the mRNA vaccine complications that we're seeing. So people that have had long COVID and mRNA vaccine complications, they come to us, and we work with that spike. We call it spike mitigation, to stop that bad signaling from getting worse in the bodies.
So would you walk us through what does it look like if somebody is interested in having Neo7 peptide program?
So what they'll come in is they'll give you a blood, a urine sample, or if you're doing cancer, they'll also give you a tumor sample. Once you collect all that sampling, then you send it off. It goes to our contracted labs, and our labs do all of that data build over a period of about 5 to 6 weeks, right? And then when that data build is done, then it's uploaded into our system, and then it takes about 72 hours to get the whole confidence predictions and modeling, and then the final report is built that has all of the signals and all of the design, right? And then that's delivered to you, and you take it to the patient, and then from there, then the manufacturing of the peptides, that order will go to the pharmacy, to the manufacturer. Manufacturer will we'll manufacture it. It's a very specialized process. The manufacturer's CGMP. That means that they follow all the rules, right? And they release the product in about 5 weeks.
Right. So it's a total of
about 10 to 11 weeks on average, right?
So
for a personalized design for 10 to 11 weeks, nobody's doing that.
Right. And these are N of 1, just specifically for that particular individual.
That's correct.
Targeting exactly all the faulty pathway.
Yes.
I'm just fascinated about that.
Yeah.
So we can back up a little bit. So after the sample, blood and urine being submitted, get analyzed, and then the peptides get designed. And that's when I get the report, and then we discuss.
Yes.
And a lot of time, I have patients that are interested in joining the conversation, and we do that on a Zoom together.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that.
Yes.
And then in terms of once the peptides get manufactured, made by the compounding pharmacy, and then shipped to the patient, it's roughly 120 vial.
Yeah. So when you're ready to use them, you take them out of the freezer, you mix them. You can administer them intravenously, subcutaneously, intramuscularly. You can nebulize them. And then we have our cancer patients that are doing it intratumorally.
Oh, okay.
Too.
Yeah. So I don't see.
You don't have to worry about that.
But yeah, that's good to know.
Yes.
We share multiple patients together.
Yes.
And I have to say they all have positive outcome. My ALS patient, he doesn't have to think to breathe anymore.
That's
and
amazing.
Able to swallow. I mean, that's huge.
Yes, for ALS, that's a big one for ALS.
Right. Yeah. He said that there's like a switch where he can really feel the muscle engage.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's just like
that's amazing.
Like after the second dose.
Yes.
And so we're gonna plan on doing the next round IV, and then adding some exosome.
That's going to be a good combination right there.
Yes,
that'd be perfect.
And then you talk a little bit about adding the option of adding exosome and or the augmented
precision peptides. So there's certain type of peptides that when you in the aging hallmarks that you can use in addition to the personalized ones that have what we call an adjunctive effect on the pathway. Like for instance, Clotho is one of those. SS31. So we have a bivalent molecule. It's called Clotho SS31.
That's our favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one because what that does is it resets the tissue, the brain, the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, right? It's a very powerful, what we call global reset type of a structure. And then the SS31 is a mitochondrial enhancer and resuscitator.
Right.
So it actually helps to facilitate the development of a more efficient mitochondria, and then the cells that are developing afterward with this signal wind up having more robust, numerous mitochondria. So the more robust your mitochondria are, I mean, it's like you're going to be generating a lot of ATPs for energy. So the thing is that we see that relationship with the augment is working with the personalized, and kind of they blend together to really create a robust signal enhancement in the body. Right. And we see it work really well together.
And I'm all about multimodal stacking different pathways, different modalities for the best outcome.
Absolutely, it's never about one thing, right? And that's why we say Neo7 personalized design. We call ourselves the Precision Molecular Solutions Company. Why? Because we're looking at specifically how to give the empowerment to the body as a hub strategy. So it's not about it's you're not eliminating the things like these integrative modalities that are very strong, like light therapy and plasmapheresis and all of these different things. HBOT and EBU and all of these different things are very powerful in and of themselves. But when you put a hub strategy like this,
everything just kind of
it's like it blends together really well.
And that's what I have experienced. So, as you know, I do a combination of off-the-shelf peptides at the foundation sleep, stress management, supplement,
Yes.
nutrition, and then hormone optimization, and then the off-the-shelf peptide, which
Yep.
is very effective.
Very, yes.
And then, to young plasma exchange.
Yes.
But I really love adding Neo7Bioscience to the mix, and it just takes everything to the next level.
It kind of powers it up. It gives it it gives it a more dynamic, kind of like a 10x powering up, right?
Right.
And I used to say, when we first started, I said, with our doctors, that we're equipping you, we're not stripping you.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And I mean, clinically, I do see the benefit of stacking, and then when we get the personalized peptides on board, even I have to say, even the second dose, people kind of notice something.
Yes. A lot of times they do. They'll often report and saying, I feel like I'm putting something good in my body. Right? Yeah. They don't know how to describe it sometimes, but they say, when I'm doing these injections, I feel like I'm putting something good in my body. I mean, they really feel it. Right. So, yeah.
And then I kind of teach, my patient to listen to their body as we titrate. But overall, it's just good to be mindful of what your body is going through, and just listen to those signals. And
absolutely.
So would you talk a little bit about Spike X?
Yeah, Spike X is an amazing discovery that we have. So we developed a system called REVIS, REVISS. And what that is basically is detecting it's like a surveillance to detect the transcription translation stability. Okay. So it's basically a genetic safety profile. Like, why is my body misbehaving because it was exposed to this vaccine, right? mRNA vaccine. And everybody's talking about spike, but really it's not just about spike. It's about the synthetic contaminants and the elements that they use to make this vaccine that are injected into the body that are toxic. And now it's creating all of this terrible expression, damaging to the cell. So what we're doing is we're detecting the damage that these cells are experiencing on a molecular level. So the Spike X basically is there to detect the bad signaling that the mRNA vaccine has caused.
And then you were able to
and then we developed a mitigation strategy, a remedial strategy to get in there, mitigate against that spike activity, that bad activity, personalized and precision to those targets. And the thing about it is we can only get better at helping people to have better responses to any kind of changes in the environment or what they're exposed to. We can help them to adapt better, right? We're always looking at ways to, to get better at what we do. Yeah. And then we're always looking at the automated process by which we can do it. Yeah. So in other words, the whole thing is helping as many people as we can, as efficiently as we can, and precisely as we can.
Yeah. This is like one of the as precise as it get at the molecular level.
At the molecular
and
level.
then that can be used for various active disease and
resilience
and then the
situations like we see with the vaccine injuries.
Right. I'm just thrilled with the addition of Neo7. It took quite a bit of work, and it's very intense.
Right.
But I'm very thrilled.
Well, it's kind of like putting a whole new flair on stuff, right? It's a new flair, right? So the molecular world is different, and a lot of us that have done medicine, I can relate because you're putting something that is very leading in technology, and then you have to learn a whole new language, basically.
And I mean, it's really like a molecular mapping when I looked at the test result.
Yes.
And at the same time, it's exciting. It's like giving direct instruction and guidelines to how to go about fixing the root cause of issues.
Yes.
Right. And then combining with everything else that we have.
Absolutely. So, and that's why I say it's an editing, micro editing, changing, correcting, getting stronger, getting your body to be more resilient. So it's moving in that same objective is to get a person to be resilient, strong, healthy, and resisting disease and getting to that perfect movement of
and
health.
then prevention of potential issues.
That's right, and prevention as well. So, and I believe that Neo7Bioscience, we have all the tools to do it. So we have very smart people,
I'm
very
impressed
amazing
with
tools.
the team.
So it's like we're growing.
Right.
The next phase of our journey is scaling. And we're going to continue to get better in our technology, because with supercomputing and
human intelligence.
Yeah, we don't rely on CPUs anymore. We use GPUs now, and then quantum is right there. Yeah. So it's like we're moving in those.
Very exciting.
But we don't minimize natural intelligence. We respect natural intelligence. Right. And I understand that you have to put Optimus on Mars to do all the work, because humans. It's like I get that part, but the thing is we're not going to be replaced as humans, ever. Right. Never ever will we be replaced.
I think there was a list of the different careers that won't be threatened to be replaced by AI, and I think physician is number 2.
Yeah,
it's good to know.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, and also, lastly, I'm very impressed with the research team, but on the clinical side, the support is amazing. With having question or needing another more test kit being delivered, everything has been amazing, and you're always available to talk to the patient as well.
Yes.
So I really appreciate that. That's really helpful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We should do another conversation soon at some point.
When we have the next generation come out.
I would love to talk about my own patient result, and then with your success story from other providers as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So that we can all share.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Amazing.
Yes.